This week you can win a StatTrak M42 Fairy. To enter like every week, like, comment and subscribe, and react to the posting on my Discord server, linked below. Thanks! So basically everything you need to know about CSGO skins in one video. I will show you how to price CSGO skins and special features like stickers accordingly, how to buy CSGO skins for around 35% less, how to sell them safe and fast for around 10% more, how to not get scammed, strategies to make profit, plugins, extensions, programs and much more. So let's start! After this message of my sponsor. This video is sponsored by skinsmonkey.com. Skinsmonkey is an automated CSGO bot trading site. They offer a huge amount of skins to instantly trade to, 24/7 live chat support and a 35% bonus on every cash deposit. With a referral code NEON you can get a free up to $5 bonus on your first trade when exchanging items worth at least $100. So like you can see here, I've calculated a little bit and found this cool deal on Skinsmonkey. I also used my $5 bonus. I just selected these 5 items out of my inventory for these 2 gut knife safari meshes field tested. I even got some leftover balance on the side which I can use for my next trade. The 2 gut knives were on trade logs, so I just saved them onto the side, but some days later I could just withdraw them to my Steam, and as you can see here, I've got a really good upgrade and with my bonus code also a really good deal. So check out Skinsmonkey right now. Link to the site with my bonus code is in the description. So this will be a long video, so use the captures down below to navigate. Chapter 1. Price checking. First and most important thing to know before you sell, buy or trade a CSGO skin, how much is it worth? For this, it is very important to know that not all values you see are worth the same amount. It is understandable that this is confusing, but you have to differentiate between cash prices, so the price an item is really selling for real life money, the Steam price, so for how much it is going on the Steam community market, and website prices, so how much it's worth, for example, on CS Money. These values differ a lot, but as it reflects money the best, it's always important to take the cash price as reference. With this, we can easily see how much these prices differ. A good example here is the Orb Epheris in field tested condition, which is a liquid, cheap and easy to trade or sell item. It sells for $2.32 on Buff163, the biggest cash marketplace, but for $2.96 on Steam and for $3.72 on CS Money. So a beginner would just say, lol, Steam and CS Money are hella overpriced. Sorry, I don't know where that accent came from. But what if I told you that this skin is actually the cheapest on Steam? This is because how much $1 in real money is worth differs between those markets. I mean, otherwise the same skin couldn't be going for $2.32 on Buff and $3.72 on CS Money. I mean, on Steam and even on some websites, yes, you deposit $5 to your balance there and you will get $5 to spend, but if you, for example, spend $5 on Buff163, you get items worth around, on average, $6.50 on Steam. Same, of course, with all the other markets with different values. So do not get scared by these numbers and always use one reliable market. I recommend Buff163 to price check items, and if somebody wants to trade with you and tells you this is a fair trade because his item is more on CS Money, stay with your reliable price provider, please. But Neon, you talk and talk, how do I now price check an item? Okay, we are now here on Buff163. Don't be surprised that your buffs looks a little bit different than mine, because I have some plugins to enhance it, but it doesn't really change anything with the values, and in a later chapter, in the plugin chapter, you will also learn how to do this. We are here with the Orb Epheris, and you see the cheapest listings here start at $2.22. This is a really liquid item, so the chance that the cheapest listed is really close to the price actually selling for is nearly 100%. But we want to be sure and of course learn how to price check items, and it's always really important that you have 2 figures here. First, the cheapest listing. I mean, this is, if you want to price an item, most likely the highest value you can ask for it. Because if you say, I want $3 for this Orb Epheris, everybody could just say, why? I can just buy it for $2.22 on buff. Same is with the lowest value. If you're not sure how much an item is worth, you can go to the buy orders, which is like this guy said, I will instantly buy an Orb Epheris field asset for this amount. And what you of course can easily also use is the price trend, which is just where you see how much these are selling for. I recommend the listening prices here, because when you go to the sale prices, you will see some spikes. And this is of course if somebody sells a really cool sticker craft or some low float, it can easily get you a wrong image of the real price. But if you just look at the last 6-7 days here, seems like the orb is going down a little bit, but I think $2.22 at the moment is a really fair price. So this is pretty much the most liquid skin you can have. Now let's go for a little bit less unliquid item, which is a vanilla M9 bayonet, which is still really liquid for the price, but of course at this price range it's not selling that often. You can see there are more than 1,000 listed for an Orb Epheris, but only 250 for the M9 bayonet vanilla. Let's do the same here. 1,438 I would say, totally a fair highest price. Let's look at the buy orders. 1,300. We now see this is a typical difference in prices. So now we have most likely the lowest price it could have, because we could instantly sell it for that price, and the highest price it could have. So the real price is most likely somewhere in the middle. Let's go through some trade records. It is somewhere in the middle, but yeah, like you can see here, it's most likely around the real selling price. And you can also see supply, these are buy orders, are also around 1,400. Seems like I'm unlucky here, the buy orders are pretty low. Maybe I should also set one right now. But yeah, I would say 1,400 is like the lowest buy order price these are going for. And if I want to trade that item now, I would definitely price it at $1,438 because we have so much data here to back that up. And you always have to ask yourself, if you want to sell that item, how much will it most likely sell for? And I think if you see that many sales here, the price trend will most likely not look very different. Yeah, it's pretty, it's just a straight line. It's easy to say how much it is worth. But there are of course items where you don't have 250 items listed, where you don't have like at least 10 sales per day, which is like this one. A StatTrak Karambit Blue Steel Well Worn. I mean, well worn is the most unpopular and one of the rarest conditions to get a knife in, and StatTrak even makes it 10 times more rare, but not even way better. So you can see the cheapest listings, these are all listed for around a week and do not have sold, and even this one haven't sold, even though it's like $30 cheaper than all the others. So let's try to price this unliquid item here. Let's go to the buy orders. And we see there are $100 between the cheapest buy order and the cheapest listing, which is not that rare for an unliquid item like that. Let's use the trade records for more data. Okay, I think with this data, we get a better view of how much this could be worth. If we look at trade records, same with the price trend for sales, of course, we have to look for special patterns, low floats, stickers, and so on. Of course, we don't have stickers on knives. And a blue steel, I mean, it can have like a lot of purple, but like with this condition, that's really nothing people overpay for. So every sale here is really a market price sale. And looking at these prices, I mean, we also see that, yeah, this is like 1 month ago, so you have to ask yourself if you want to price that. And if you look at the price trend, let's maybe also go for 1 month, we see, yeah, the listing is also around that. Looking at the prices, I would price this around $630. I think this is a reasonable price, which I think I could get for that item. But of course, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't sell or the price even drops, because this is just an unliquid item. So $630 is my guess here, but this is just my guess. And I'm pretty sure some traders might disagree or go a few dollars lower or higher. Now you know how to price check market items without any special features. All of these prices I showed you are based on the assumption that your item does not have any special features, like a low or really high float, rare stickers, or a special pattern. So let's see how you can price that. Float. Let's start with the float. Float value is a number between 0 and 1. So 0 to 100%. And just tells you or the game how worn a skin is. There are 5 stages corresponding to different percentages. Different skins have different float ranges. And if your skin is now really close to the next better condition, or even really close to 0 or 1, you can expect that your skin will sell for more than other normal floats would do. You can easily check the float of your gun by inspecting it in-game and clicking on the little information symbol at the bottom. How much it is now worth always depends on the item. For a .16 AK Bloodspot, for example, which is really close to the next better condition minimum wear, which starts at .15, you cannot really expect any overpay. This is because it's just a little bit darker or lighter, and there's not that much difference in the look. But if you have some .16 Vice Gloves, you can easily expect a $1,400 overpay just because of the float. So you see, it can be worth checking the price of it. This is because how rare a low float is differs from skin to skin, and like I said, also how much it affects them. The Vice Gloves, for example, they look really scratched at the .37, but if you have them in good condition with .16, for example, they look way cleaner. But also be aware that 2 skins with the exact same float value can look different. This is because the float value just tells the game, yo, your item has like a .15 float, please apply 50% wear on it. But it doesn't tell the game where that wear is applied. So you can have .16 Vice Gloves that look way cleaner and therefore are worth way more, just because that 16% wear it has is applied on spots where you really cannot see it in game. So let's try to price a skin which has a special float. I recommend you also use Plattforms X3 to do that. And for that, I will also stay with an Orb Epheris because we just had it. Orb Epheris, of course, is a little bit special here because there are so many sold and bought that it happens pretty often that you could sneak a better float. For example, here the cheapest listening, which is like cheaper than buy orders. Holy moly. It's funny because he could just instantly sold his item for 2 cents more. This is, for example, a .23 float, even with like a 40-cent sticker, which is most likely worth at least a few cents more. But if you want to price your item, let's say you have a .16 Orb Epheris, you can easily just filter here by the float range and just see, suddenly 40 cents difference. And let's check also some trade records. We should be able to see this one is sold for a little bit more, .22. This one sold for 40 cents more, and it's a .17. With liquid items, of course, it's really easy to do that. I think $2.60, if you have a .16, even $2.65, for example, is a fair price. And I would therefore price it like that. Basically, you can apply all these techniques we just did on any item. Let's go, for example, for this Ceramic Boreal Forest. Let's filter by float. And we can instantly see, okay, listed for $20 more. Here, of course, you can see it's listed for 2 days already. The price is most likely fine because we have so many lists here and this is still a liquid item. But of course, keep in mind that even if you have a really liquid item, let's say you have a Orb Dragonlore Field Tester, which is really liquid. If you have it in .15, it is kinda more unliquid then, because you really want the price for the .15. And the market for a Dragonlore is really big, but the market for .15 Dragonlores is rather small. So be aware that it can take a little bit to price those. And if you don't have too much references, better be careful than sell your item for way too less. But like here, we can also check here if we have some sales, .26, .23, sold for a little bit more. But also here, somebody sold a .22 for market price, which isn't too uncommon for a knife like that. We don't have any .16 or sales like that here. So I would say $505 is a fair price for this knife, but I wouldn't be surprised if it also goes for around 500. As with most things in this video, there are some exceptions, of course. For example, you can have a skin with a .50 float, so really 50, no other numbers, 50, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and it will be worth just because people care about having a funny number on their gun. Yes, this is really real. Or rust code items, for example, which get more expensive the higher the float gets. A .99 rust code is worth a lot more than a normal one. So I cannot go for all of these exceptions, but just be careful. And with the stuff you just heard, I'm sure you can price check around 99% of CSGO items pretty precisely. Next, stickers on guns. Stickers on guns increase the value of it. But in contrast to the belief of some inexperienced traders or people that just joined the community, it does not transfer one by one. So let's say you have a $100 sticker on a $1 gun, it does not make it worth $101. And even to this day I get trade offers telling me this is an overpay because the $100 on the gun just adds $100. This is not how it works, guys. This is why traders talk about the sticker percentage. So how much of the value of the individual sticker is added to the skin it was applied on. On average, this is only a very small part of the original price. But as with most things in CSGO, there are many features of an item and many stats that influence how much percentage you can expect. It can even start with 1%, and the best craft can even go for around 50 or even more percent. It really depends on what item and how rare it is. Like a really unique prize, in theory, could go for around 100% because it's just so unique and a collector wants it. But normally between 1 and 40% is like the rule of thumb. So these are just a few nodes that influence where on that spectrum your skin is. How much are the stickers worth, of course? Are they scratched? Scratched stickers, of course, give way less overpay than a normal one. And even if you just accidentally tapped your iBuy Power Holo once, it most likely lost like 70% of its value. Congratulations, you don't even see it in game, but this is how the market works. Next, is the skin popular? What weapon is it on? Where are the stickers placed? For example, on the orb, if you have it on the scope, it's worth way more than if you have it on the back. What is the condition of the skin? Is it static or not? Has it like a really special float? Are the stickers matching the gun or its color scheme? And so on. So with everything, it's just that it looks better, there's more demand for it, therefore you have a higher sticker percentage. And giving you all of my experience and how I price check these items would take like a few days. So I will just give you a few examples and hopefully this will help you to price check at least 90% of sticker crafts really accordingly. But as always, you can always ask other people and second opinions, and most likely we'll find a really good estimate then. So here we are now in CSGO, and we want to price two sticker crafts, which are similar, but on the other hand also really different. We have a static orb redline in field tested condition, which is a rather unliquid skin because it's just so old and we field tested. And you can see here it has a non-scratched Cashout 2014 Holo 3DX Max, which goes on buff at the moment for around $6,500. Next, we have an Orb Graphite. Also pretty similar from the age, but way more liquid because it is factory new, and it's also worth a little bit more. This one also has a Cashout 2014 Holo, in this case a Virtus Pro, which is applied on the scope. You most likely know that the sticker here you don't even see if you not expect the gun in-game, and the scope is the best position to have your sticker on. So this sticker is also $6,500, so these are pretty similar skins. What do you now think these are worth? If we now go to Steam, you will see the normal StatTrak Orb Redline field tester goes for $68. The Orb Graphite goes for $173. What do you think these are worth? Let's try to find that out. For that, I will also use buff again. And down here, there are the stickers. You can customize it, and for example, let's search for all stickers listed on buff 163 that have any of these 9 gold Paris sticker applied in any condition anywhere on the gun. And if we now filter by price, we see, okay, we have souvenir guns, which we, no souvenirs guys, souvenirs are bad here. It's bad because if you just unbox a 1 cent souvenir skin, they will have exactly those stickers. So it's sorted by normal. Yeah, here we see the cheapest skins start at around, this is comparable cheap, let's go for around $6.50. And the same way, you will not get a precise price here for a sticker craft, because these are, in most cases, really unliquid. Therefore, you will more get like a price estimate or a price range. So we can also use that, of course. Let's start with our Orb Redline and try to search for Cashout 2014. Here, 3DX Holo. Let's search for 100% because it is not scratched. And now it will give you all the items that have this sticker anywhere on the gun. Of course, the cheaper ones, will it have it most likely on a bad position? Let's check the orb red line here, for example. Yeah, again here on the back, which is the worst place to have it. And yeah, we already have our estimate here. The cheapest orb red line field tested non-stat track, we have to see that, is listed for $150. I mean, there could be the chance that if we have the exact same gun, that this is just somebody that listed it for too cheap and it's not bought yet. But there are so many people that snipe these markets, so if somebody lists his Cartocraft for way too cheap, it's like instantly bought. Don't worry about that. Of course, in most cases, we will not find the exact gun. But in this case, we will try to find similar guns, like the non-stat track version, maybe skins that are rather comparable. I would even call the AK Blue Lemonade, AK Redline comparable because they look similar, they have pretty much the same age, and they are all weapons that are used pretty often. With sticker craft, the cheapest of course are some like these, like the Orcs or Sword Offs, skins you don't really use, or a well-worn M4 Radiation Hazard, like who wants to play these? If we go through really expensive crafts, of course there will be like the holy grail of good items. There will be like 4, yeah, even here, complexity on it. So this can go really far. But let's go back to the cheapest ones and try to guess our orb. And right out of my gut, I would price our orb at around $200. With this, I always recommend people, if I say 200, I think this is a fair price for it. But of course, it can go lower depending on the market, but it can also go higher if you find instantly a collector, for example, that wants it. So if you are unsure, and depending on how much time you have and want to spend selling or trading this item, I would recommend that you list it for a little bit more. For example, 220, I think that's also the price I have listed my orb at. Yeah, okay, I've already down for 200, but it started at 220, and I will just gradually go lower over time to get the best price possible. Let's go through the orb graphite and search for any Virtus Pro stickers applied on the scope of the gun. And also for reference, let's say the price of the weapon is 68. So if we price that at 200, we add $132 because of the sticker, which is, at least with the current listing of the sticker, at 2% sticker price. So you see, most of the money you spend on stickers is just gone. So let's go to Mr. Virtus Pro. Now we are searching by slot. Slot 4 is on the scope of the orb. Let's try to find the cheapest orb with the sticker on the scope. And we instantly see at what price these are starting at. Around $360. But of course, Orb Safari Mesh is not that popular. Orb Electro, of course, not the most popular skin. I would say as the base price, around $400 is totally fine. We have to note that our Orb Graphite here, this is most likely mine listed there. Yeah. This is mine for too much. I've listed it nearly 3 months ago, so this is too much. It's pretty clear, but it seems like I forgot to put it lower. But if we compare it to the other orbs listed, we can also just search for orb here to have a better oversight of it. I think out of my gut, I would price it at around like $500 to $600. Should be a really fair price. And gradually go lower over time until it finally trades or sells. And you can apply that to every sticker or sticker craft on the market. Try to look for pretty much the exact same craft, sales and listings. A really handy source here is Cartocraft, which is a site that tracks all the Cartocrafts that got sold. For example, 29th of August. Okay, seems like they don't have data since then. Interesting. You see this stat track Glock Blue Fisher with an LDAC Holo 1 scratch, 85% condition, sold for $225. And if you, let's say we go to our, where is it? 3D Max again. Yeah, we see, oh, this even with both sold. We can click on it, we get information where it's sold, how it looks, we can download a screenshot and so on. So we have even more reference there, and this should really help us finding a reasonable price. After float and stickers, there are also special patterns. Special patterns are like sticker crafts, only that they do not have that many variables that affect them. And they're also pretty easy ones, like for example a Fade knife is pretty easy to price check because you have a lot of listings and sales you can compare the price to. But what is way harder, of course, are for example blue gems, especially the mid-tier blue gems where you are not really sure if that's a blue gem or not.
Blue gem Karambit pattern index 387 number 1 pattern. Yeah, and that would be a game changer. 1.5. Oh, please!
So I would recommend following the same procedure as stickers. You can look for the exact item, you can compare, for example, let's say you have a Karambit case hardened field tested which has a comparable good amount of blue on the back side. And you can compare it to others that are listed, you can look at the sales there, you can look at other sites of course, not only buff, you can compare to other conditions, because if you see that like in well worn it's already going for $1,000 and it's sold for that price, your field tested pattern is most likely worth more. You can look at stat track or not, you can even compare it to other knives. I mean, it depends on the knife, of course. For example, a classic knife is really easy to get in a lot of blue, which M9 or Karambit is really hard to get with blue, but you can still get a rough estimate via that. With the pattern, how patterns work is pretty easy. Every skin in CSGO, even those that do not have patterns, have a pattern ID between 0 and 999, so 1000 patterns, which tells the game how the texture, which is a simple image file, is applied to the weapon. You can easily check that if you inspect the weapon in-game again, and just onto that little information symbol, it will show you pattern ID, and via that you easily know which pattern you have. And if you, for example, go now to CSGO Float, you can search for similar items with the exact same pattern, so that look exactly the same as yours. You will most likely not find a precise price for your items, but like I said before, you will most likely find something that is comparable and gives you a rough estimate. Whenever you're unsure about the price, not only with special patterns, it can be worth asking other, maybe more experienced traders for an estimate. You can hop into some trader stream, like mine for example, here's the Twitch link, and just ask him directly, but be aware that opinions on these prices, especially on rare and unliquid items, differ sometimes. Second chapter, where and how to sell CSGO skins. Next to the Steam community market, there is a really big economy with real money. Either with people selling and buying directly, or via dedicated cash marketplaces. You can expect prices to be around 15 to 35% less comparing to Steam, depending on the item. You can sort these marketplaces into two categories. Bot marketplaces, so you trade the item to a bot to the site, for example Skin Baron, which holds the item while it is listed on sale. And after it's sold, you get the money on the site and the bot trades the item to the new owner. In my opinion, this is an outdated way of selling CSGO skins and comes from a time where there was no 7-day trade log. So the second category is definitely better. Peer-to-peer marketplaces is when there is no bot in between buyer and seller. So the seller lists his item for sale on the site, and when the buyer buys it, the website ensures that the funds go to the seller and the item goes to the buyer. So for example on GamerPay, I get a notification, item sold, I have an open trade offer from the buyer, I accept it, the website looks into our inventories via the API key and confirms it, then I get the balance and it's done. The API key is a code on Steam you can generate under the link linked down below, which gives people outside of your account access to certain functions of your Steam account without logging you in. This can also be dangerous, which we will see later, but for these marketplaces it is a really handy way to really 100% verify that you sent an item, for example. Every marketplace of course takes a little fee, and you should really inform yourself about those fees before you use them. Because some markets have selling and withdrawing fees, so it can easily happen that you sell your knife for the amount you wanted to, just to realize that you will lose 5% more when cashing that money out. Yes, Market CSGO, I am looking at you. I have a really handy video on that too, where I compare all marketplaces that exist and rate them by volume, features, and of course, all of their fees. All marketplaces that I think are worth using are linked down below, but my personal recommendation would be that you sell your items on many different peer-to-peer markets at the same time. First, GamerPay, because it has 0% fees. Link down below, you get 5 euros for free if you sign up with it. Buff.market, which is the global version of the famous Buff 163, with a combined selling and cash out fee of 3.5%. Waxpeer with a combined fee of 6%, Market CSGO with a combined fee of 10%, and CSGO Float with a combined fee of 3%, which also has the biggest database of CSGO skins in the world, which is also pretty handy when listing items there. If you use them together, you have a very good chance that people see and buy your items, and if you pay attention to the fees, you will always end up with 100% of the price you found on buff 163 after the fees, which I think is a good value between selling the item fast and getting good value for it. So for example, my Bowie knife Forest D-pad, filters the condition, sells for exactly $100 on buff. I would list it for $100 on GamerPay, because they do not have any fees, $103.50 on buff.market, $106 on Vexpear, and so on. So I really end up with $100 in my pocket after I sold it. But of course, depending on how long you want to wait, you can lower the price or increase it however you want. Just be aware that everything under like 93% is typically instantly bought by a reseller like me, and everything over 115% is very unlikely to sell at all. But of course, if you are the only one listening it, there's still a market for it, so you better try it out yourself. Chapter number 3. Where and how to buy CSGO skins cheap. But of course you can use the markets to sell skins, also to buy skins there, either with the balance you got through sales, or just directly by depositing money there. So if you ever deposited money to Steam directly and bought skins there on the Steam community market, I am very sorry, but you paid around 50% more than you should have. You can use all the markets linked down below also to buy skins. You just have to be careful about depositing and buying fees, with some have, but they are most likely not too much. Also, they offer different payment providers depending on where you live, so you should check that too. But other than that, you know how to price items, so like with selling, you can create your account there, find items you like, deposit funds and just buy them. As you now know how to price items, how to buy and how to sell them, you technically have everything you need to make millions flipping items, so buying them cheap and selling them for more later. So what you doing? Quit your job, go CSGO trading. Nice. It's not that easy, but of course you have everything in your hand right now and can try it out yourself. But please be careful and watch this video to the end, because it's really important to know how to not get scammed. Chapter 4. Not getting scammed can be way harder than it looks, because unfortunately you cannot dodge all scams just by trading on Scheme, not clicking on any links and using your ducking brain. Scams have gone way further than that. So here are the most popular scams and what you should do to avoid most of them. First, the API scam. As mentioned, if somebody has your API key you just put onto GamerPay for trading and selling items there, they can use that to scam your items. You still need to confirm your own scam on your own phone, but they will trick you so you don't realize it. When somebody gets access to your account or your API key, it is mainly with getting you to log in into some fake phishing site. Then they just use your login details and your code to log in themselves and grabbing your API key. Then they will trick you into sending a legit offer. For example, adding you and telling you your account got hacked. Please just send the items to a trusted friend to save them. And then they will just redirect the trade offer to a fake account looking pretty much like the one you intended to send. So when you go to your phone to confirm the trade and you do not know what's going on, there's pretty much no way you could know this is a scam. To prevent 100% of scams, do not share your account with anyone and do not log into random sites people send you. And most important, every time you confirm a trade on your phone, compare the level, years of service of the account and the Steam registration date. If that matches, you are safe. With the newest update, Steam removed the Steam registration date, so after you accept the trade on your PC, before you accept it on your phone, you can check this information even on your PC when seeing which trade offers are open and are sent, and if everything's fine there, then everything is in order. To remove an active breach of your API key, do these steps in the exact order. This is really important. Number 1, change your password. Number 2, deauthorize all other devices from your Steam guard. And number 3, revoke and reset your API key. Then you're safe again. But be careful, if there's malware on your PC, they could be back in pretty quickly. Number 2, the bot site item scam. Very popular recently, and it works like this. Somebody adds you and wants to trade. He says he wants to make a legit offer, but then tells you he wants a specific item from a trading site. And if you do not want to get that for him, and then he would trade that item for the items you wanted from him. He offers you a really good deal with some good overpay, and the item is really expensive on Steam, so you think even if he backs out in it in the end, you still end up with an expensive item. This is sadly the trap. The item is very expensive, but only as a listing. The item never sold for that price and is therefore basically worthless. And of course, the item that you just traded all your items for on, let's say, traded.gg and bought for a lot of money was sold on the side by the scammer. So he just got like $1,000 in balance there from you, and you just got an item that is basically worthless. There are many other scams, but if you follow these tips, you will dodge most of them. Do not click on random links, always check the Steam registration date and other information, always double or even triple check the offers you send or accept, always stay on Steam. Many scammers use Discord or other platforms because they cannot get banned on Steam for it. And of course you can talk to them on Discord, but be careful if somebody says let's go to Discord, let's go to, I don't know, ICQ, it's most likely that they have something to hide. If you're unsure about anything or feel that something is off, better delay the deal and ask for help, for example, on my training Discord. Chapter 5. Liquidity and why it is really important. Liquidity tells you how easy an item is sold or traded, so how much demand it has. For example, a Fieldless and Orb Theories we had before, which sells many thousand times every day, is very dark and liquid. If you list it on Buff 163 as the cheapest listing, it's most likely gone within a few minutes. A StatTrak Huntsman Rust code is quite the opposite. It sells really rarely and is not really wanted, so the liquidity is really low. And if you're getting an item with the intention to trade or resell it, you should always respect this data the same way you respect the price of it. Because making like 10% on a trade is good, but not worth it when it takes 2 years to get that profit. So whenever you trade, buy or sell CS2 items, keep that in mind. You can easily check the liquidity just by going onto the item page on Buff and see how much they are listed, how much it's selling for, how often it's selling for every day. You will see pretty easily that when an item is liquid or not. You can also use for items under $1,600 CS2 Stash, which shows you what the volume of an item is, so really how many of those were sold in the last 24 hours on the Steam market. Chapter 6. Easy trading strategies to make profit. First, flipping. Flipping is easy to explain. Buy low and sell high. As you know how to price items, know how to buy and sell and dodge scams, you can just go around and start with it. Of course, finish this video first. So let's say you go to GamerPay. It's pretty easy to find items there, even liquid items, for around 95% buff price. You can just buy them and resell them for around 100%. And easy as that, as GamerPay does not have any fees, you just made 5%. Continue and repeat, and you will create your own trading empire. Just keep in mind that there are also traps here, like really low liquidity items that are listed for a lot, but are actually selling for way lower, could happen to trick you into thinking it's worth more. Second trading method, normal item trading. Even easier to explain than flipping, and I would really recommend my how and where to trade in 2023 if you want to do that. You just post your items on different forums and websites and say that you want to trade them. Then you will receive offers, and you are also free, of course, to send offers yourself and see if you can get a small amount of profit. It is really competitive there, and I would say that 90% of people really only want profit, but you can still gain a few percentages here and there. C. Bot trading sites. Sites like CS Money, Skins Monkey, Traded and so on are very easy to use, practical and very fast. But of course this comes at the cost of a fee, which ranges from 20% on CS Money, holy moly, to 7% on most reasonable sites. But all of these sites work with an algorithm, which in most cases does not understand stuff like pattern, float and stickers, and also makes mistakes. So if you know a lot about skins, you can also gain a few percentages here and there, and I have also made my dedicated video on how to do that properly, linked down below. But it is an advanced trading technique, but I still won't really share it here. Next up, bargains and buy orders. Instead of just buying skins to flip, you can also bargain or buy order them to make even more percent. Most people and even traders are very happy to instantly sell their item for, let's say, 2% less. You can either contact and bargain them directly on the platform or just add them via Steam. Also, buy orders, which gives sellers the chance to instantly sell their items for a bit less, give you the possibility to make a few percentages. But be aware that there are many bots on these sites, especially Buff163, that automatically increase their buy order to always be the highest. So it can be a really time-consuming way to trade. And many more. You can specialize in specific items like sticker craft, patterns, low float. You can even try to profit from the value difference between different sites. So for example, buy a skin for 110% buff price on Steam, sell it on buff to buy another skin that sells for 140% on Steam, and even after the fees you make like 12% profit, and many more. There are many ways you can profit with CSGO skins, and some strategies are most likely not even known. So stay careful, be creative, and try out what works for you. Point 7. Plugins and other helpers. Plugins and certain software can really help you out. Most important is CSGO Trader, a Chrome or Firefox extension developed by Gary, one of the biggest traders out there. It has all the features you want as a trader and is totally free to use. Shout out to you, my boy. But be sure to set the price of it to buff starting at, as the default is some weird Steam value. CSGO Float Market Checker is also pretty handy, but the features overlap a bit with CSGO Trader. But it also adds a few more, like instantly see if an item is listed on CSGO Float and for how much, direct links to the database, and much more. Steam Inventory Helper is also good, but I only use it to sell items. It is good as it works with all Steam games, but for only CSGO skins, CSGO Trader is definitely better. Really important last thing is Case Move. Case Move is a software that you only need if you have many storage units with many items. It allows you to move items in and out very fast and easily, and even filter, search or price check multiple and different storage units at a time. An easy feature, I think, that Valve is still not able to implement, even with CS2. And last, different really important tips. Always be friendly and reasonable. Yes, CS2 skins have a lot of value, and it is not only fun and games for many, but we are humans, so stay friendly and kind even if you disagree on a price or something like that, as it only benefits you. Nobody can call you a flaming kid if you stay calm, and maybe even people you disagreed with will remember your good behavior and maybe come back in the future. So, as with all things, stay friendly, it can only benefit you. Listen to other opinions and think about them, but make up your own thoughts and strategies. I coached over 100 people on my Patreon trading coaching, and some did not really enjoy the ways I was trading, which is totally fine. Everybody can trade the way he wants, and with the prices and profit margins he thinks are reasonable. Maybe you're watching this video, say, Mr. Neo, you buy for 90% buff? I would never do that, which is totally fine. You can trade the way you want, as long as it works for you, that's totally fine. But also there I want to really tell you, don't be stiff on your strategies. CS2 and the economy are really rapidly changing, especially as the game just came out. And one way of trading, or even just the price of an item, can change very ducking fast. So do not make the mistake to stay with one rule that worked like 3 months ago just because it worked. If your item goes down in price, for example, you should handle it the same way you would handle it if it suddenly increases. Losses feel bad, yes, but it even feels worse when you cannot trade your Orb Dragon Lore because you are hunting for a price it had 3 months ago. And last, be patient. I am trading CS2 skins now for over 8 years, and sometimes it feels like nothing is working for many days. But then suddenly it changes and works way better than before. So if you cannot get a good trade for an item for like a week, it does not mean necessarily that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes you are just unlucky and the market is just a bit sleepy. So stay patient, which will reward itself after some time, maybe. So this was a long video. My recording is nearly 1 hour long and my tongue feels really dead. If you have any more questions, visit my stream. I'm happy to help you out. I think that sums up the video really ducking good. Don't forget to join the giveaway, my boys. I am Neon. I will now go to sleep, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye. God, my tongue feels like I don't know. I had like a 5-hour session with my girlfriend. What the